Healthy at all sizes. Just one more stupid woke lie.
UCLA med students learn obesity equals good.
If you were wondering what the future doctors of America are required to learn as first-year med students at UCLA, this piece on medical fat phobia was just assigned as required reading. No health, no care. The big fat loophole in the Hippocratic Oath tells these students that
Medical fat phobia isn't the result of workers not knowing some special cheat codes, providers not knowing some cheat codes for working with fat patients. Providers didn't all miss the day of medical school where students were taught how not to be cruel to fat people. Fat phobia is medicine's status quo.
phobia is the status quo in American medicine and is something that we need to defeat.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it should be a status quo. Fat phobia definitely should be like that. Also, the word fat phobia is stupid. No one's afraid of fat people. Everyone just dislikes fat people. It's very simple.
Ask because I know you're going to. This is the person who wrote the article, a fat liberal.
Always is. Also, she, they. Wow. Burger, milkshake.
Liberationist PhD candidate at an Ivy League public health school. Medical fat phobia in her.
Dude, American education is absolutely so downhill in the gutter, it's actually insane. There was a time where everyone looked at the institutions like Harvard, the UCLA, and a bunch of other places, you know, and was like, oh wow, you went to there, that's insane. People from other countries who were smart, you know what they did at a time when these places were prestigious? Well, technically they still can do that. They wrote on their applications, studied at, you know, for example, Harvard. Studied. Didn't finish, but studied. And this is the trick that people used. People still use this, by the way. And if you want to be cool, you can also use this. Well, if you have the money, you can get into Harvard. That's not a question. You just need to pay. And, well, be from another country, pay for 1 year or whatever is the minimum that you can to go to Harvard, never actually attend, get kicked out of Harvard, congratulations. Your CV still has studied at Harvard. And when, you know, a company thinks like, studied at Harvard, eh, you say? And they, you know, they can ask, a job, someone who is providing a job can easily contact Harvard and ask for proof that this person actually studied at Harvard. And they will actually just give them proof. Yeah, this person studied at Harvard. He is in our records. Doesn't say anything about the fact that they never even attended Harvard. Good trick.
Words refers to the specific ways that hatred and denigration of fatness manifests within medicine. Even though you might think you're a brilliant med student, everything you know about obesity and fatness is wrong. Because, as
what does this person say? I gotta read the rest of this. Everything you know about obesity, about fatness, about fat phobia, about fat people has been and is still wrong.
Good. Good. That means she's still gonna probably die from being that fat in like 10 years, and it's gonna be great.
That's crazy. You want to know why it's always young women that are talking about this?
Because
about how being fat is good? It's because when they get older, they die. Because they're fat.
Because, as is logical common sense, for race to have been constructed, the slave had to exist, and had to exist as the antithesis of health, so that European physicians, anthropologists, and other eugenicists could determine what set the slave apart from the Caucasian. So
the slaves weren't fat. This whole idea that fat people are poor is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard, and it's the biggest lie that first world Americans.
He's mixing up a lot of things here. He's instantaneously implying that all slaves were poor, and, you know, slaves can't be fat because they were poor. Wow, that's a bunch of implications.
And Westerners tell themselves to jump.
By the way, yeah, slaves were poor, but, you know, this is a little bit different. That he's thinking in his small brain.
Justify being a fat piece of shit. No. If you go to India and you look at the poor people in India, none of them are fat. You go to...
That's a flat out lie.
Africa. You look at the poor people in Africa, none of them are fat. You go to...
Well, That's because most poor people in Africa are not going to make it to tomorrow.
To China, and you see the poor people in China.
They are definitely fat. There are fat people in China.
None of them are fat. They're real poor. Yeah, this is NA logic. NA logic is when you think that fat people, it's you have to be rich to be thin. It's crazy.
To be, man, deconstructing what Asmongold said with so little is so hard. Sometimes. Okay, there is actually proof that fat people in a country like America are poorer. Because poor people are pretty much just taught from an early childhood what they can eat in America. And with the prices of America, it's easier. It's cheaper to buy a non-diet soda than water in some places in America. So obviously poor people are going to be fatter because of their food choices. They don't cook at home, they eat fast food because fast food is relatively affordable, but it's still fast food. So there is actually a precedent why in a place like America that poor people are fatter. That's because the food that they consume is literal poison.
Easy. It's clown logic. It's amazing that, like, anybody actually believes this. Well, I tell you why they believe it. It's because it rationalizes their bad decisions in life. That's the reason why. The most obese part of the population is actually the poor. That's because the poor people are the least educated and the worst at making decisions. Guess what?
So he's right and you're wrong?
You take 100 rich people and you take 100 poor people. Which group is going to have a higher ratio of people that make good decisions? It's the rich people. Fucking obviously. Everybody knows this. I know it's not a comfortable fact, but it's still a fact. You're not really poor here. It's not that's not like really being poor. Being poor in America is like being middle class in a lot of countries. And it's
holy shit, you heard that, American on the street without a home? You're better off than the average person in Europe who has a home. Huh. Thank fucking dude. I did not intend this to be a bashing Asmongold for being a complete dipshit moron video. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you poor person in America who's literally dying because you can't get medication. Thank God you're not in any other place being middle class, because then you would be worse off. You can't make this up.
It's even about being upper class in a lot of countries.
Boy.
The idea that you are poor because you can only afford McDonald's is something that only a fat person would think of.
So, he just disproved his whole entire point. He just unironically disproved his whole entire... Oh my god.
I'm sorry. This
should
is complete
be, you
fucking
stupid
delusion.
idiot.
It's not true. And everybody knows it. What's this here? Fast food has trash nutrition and trash food is cheaper than good food?
Yes.
Poor countries, villages, mainly eat bread and butter, barely anything else. I'll take.
I don't know about the butter.
Well, why don't they eat bread and butter then? I guarantee you,
He just explained, you absolute moron! He just explained to you because in America, bad food is cheaper than good food. Oh,
you can make
I'm
better
losing it.
food and you can make healthy food if you're broke. Also, here.
Yeah, but it's more expensive in America. Again, America is the only country where your average bottled water costs more than your average soda bottle.
Here's another example. You go look at a prison. They don't have a bunch of fucking fast food and shit. They don't have anything. And most of them are skinny too. Now, there's some fat asses in there too, but not so many.
Okay.
So this is what's funny to me, right? Is that you can have a situation where in every real life, observable, genuine situation where people are actually poor, none of them, hardly any of them, are actually fat. But people in the West here, in first world countries, have convinced themselves that being fat is because you're poor. It's the most delusional, brain-dead, dumb fuck, self-serving.
Can I just Google this, I wonder? Are Americans fat because they are poor? Let's see. Statistically, people from low-income households are more likely to have obesity. Anyone can experience obesity, but in the United States, it has strong association with low individual income, poverty, and a lack of food security. From what is this even taken? Medical News Today. Okay. How am I not American and I know this? How is this such simple logic, and yet Asmongold literally is gonna die on a hill of stupidity once more? I can't. Man.
Victimizing bullshit. And everybody knows it's fake. You want to lose weight? Why don't we ship them over to fucking Africa? Go ahead. Go over to Africa. Go over to
The reason people are... because most of them die.
a poor place in India. Go live there. We'll see if you lose weight or not. How about that? I'm good, bro? Yeah, right? Because it's not really true. Yeah, you're pathetic with experience and opinions? Bro, you getting mad? We got a fatty in chat getting mad. Is that it?
Oh no.
You getting mad? You crying about what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Saying?
Okay, let's see what's happening here.
You crying? How many donuts you eat today? What are you talking about? You got 3 donuts already? What you getting mad for? Zero? None?
Oh, he's gonna call him a liar because the only person who could disagree with this opinion is a fat American.
Well, that makes sense then. He's mad. He hasn't had his donuts yet. So
he just beautiful. He doesn't even wait for a response. He's just you did. Oh, you're not fat actually. Well, fuck you anyway.
He's mouthing off in chat. That's what's going on. Yeah, that's what it is. Do you think fast food culture has something to do with it? Fast food?
No. By his logic, he should say no because he completely disagrees with the statement in general.
Culture? You mean what a person's actions are? Yeah, what a person's actions are do have something to do with it. Tonight, a system is in place to promote unhealthy foods is asinine. To promote unhealthy foods. Oh, so it's getting promoted. No, it's not. Anybody growing up knows that they know what good food is, they know what bad food is. You go to the shittiest fucking high school, the shittiest middle school in the country, and they're gonna say this to you. Like, it's a fucking common sense. Everybody, it is general knowledge. It's total bullshit.
I wonder, does his opinion stem from the fact that he eats a bunch of junk food and stuff like that, but he's not fat? I wonder if that's where this opinion originates from in reality.
Complete bullshit, guys. Let's finish it.
So the origin story of anti-fatness is really rooted in black, fat, queer, trans abolition. This reality, in her view, has created
black, trans, queer abolition. Hell yeah, let's go.
Somebody paid her to do this.
Stigma in the medical community, where we immediately jump to identify poor eating, exercise habits, mental illness, and citing mortality of obesity, all in the name of obesity prevention. If obesity isn't bad, why prevent it? Besides, she reminds us that it is proven that weight loss is a useless, hopeless endeavor.
True. You can't do anything to stop it. See, the thinnest she can be.
Okay. Is he gonna distill this down to the most basic of opinion of, well, you can't fight weight because at some point you're gonna eat something or drink something, or even breathing in the air technically adds weight to your body?
Is 325 pounds. The body just won't let her lose more weight than that.
Scientifically proven. So it's actually...
Well, I was wrong, but I have no idea what he said.
Discriminatory.
Was that a
when
joke?
Doctors tell you need to lose weight for your own health. The future doctors of America.
Beautiful.
That's incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. Why are Americans so dumb? The reason why Americans have this problem is because they have to make everything Americans have no problem changing reality to fit their bad behavior. That's the reason why.
I guess only Americans are special in that regard. Well, lucky Asmongold tells me. I thought everyone does that, but man, it's just Americans. Thank you, Asmongold. You're enlightening me.
That's what's really going on here. Is that they're willing to make up this shit, and the problem also is that nobody wants to call this out because I guarantee you she's probably the kind of person.
Everyone's calling this out. You're not being a hero by saying fat is bad. By the way, you have not even said this. You're kind of adjacent to that. You can't even say that fat is bad. Listen, no one's going to push back on the opinion that fat is not healthy. This is a complete zero stakes game. You can say that, you can write it on a flag, you can post it on Twitter, and almost no one is ever going to try and give you any backlash against it, and if they are, it's probably going to be like maybe 2 people. This is not a brave opinion to say.
Person that if you call this out,
this is an accepted opinion in America, literally everywhere.
I call you racist. And so people don't want to go and call this shit out because they're afraid. They're afraid of being called out and put on blast for something they didn't do and they didn't say. So, big fucking surprise, this is what happens. Instead of defunding the police, we should defund public schools? No, it's not. The problem is not about
that's
funding.
That's funny. I think that's a joke. That's pretty funny.
The schools teach kids what is good and bad food. Like, if you take 100 people and you ask them, honestly, which one is more healthy, a salad or a fucking pizza, every single one of them is going to say salad. That's
not even necessarily true.
Idea that people aren't taught what's healthy and what's not is insane. Of course they are. It's common knowledge everywhere in our culture. That's like knowing left and right. This idea that some people don't know this is insane.
No one's saying they don't know this. Every argument against your point has been a difference in income and availability and whatnot. Do you know how much a fucking salad costs in a supermarket? I do. It's cheaper to go buy 2 McDonald's Happy Meals. And if you're poor, well, shit, those 2 McDonald's Happy Meals are probably going to feed you for a day. That salad ain't feeding you for even one eating time. Man, I'm as stupid as Asmongold.
It's inherent to some extent. It is. It's inherent. It's obvious. And so it's always other people's fault. Nah. The thing is that...
Wait, you just said it is. You just said it's always other people's fault because everyone is blaming their decisions on... We can't even be consistent about this?
I've known a lot of fat people in my life, and I've never known a single fat person that was fat and it wasn't their fault.
Well, again, we're boiling it down to personal choice. Yes, everything in life is personal choice, technically. When someone robs you in your house and you die from the robbery gone wrong, it's also technically your fault because you decided to make your house rich enough for the robbers to be interested in it. It's technically personal choice. This is what he's boiling it down to.
That's right. Every single time. And these people and here's the funny thing about it, is that these people are going to kill themselves and kill other people in the process. Like, you're not going to look like this when you're 80 because you're going to be dead before then. That's the truth. You can't do this. What are we even talking about here? Being fat is a choice. Yeah, you can't look like that. You're going to die. I wonder how many of these fat people like this that are trying to promote this have to die until people...
Hopefully all of them. Anyway, bye-bye.